I didn't remember coming here in 1988. So I just felt like I was like any other kid here. When I said farewell to my grandma, my mom tells me that I wiped the tears from her eyes and that I told her that I was going to be back, that I was only going to be gone for a weekend because I was going to visit my dad in California. My mom also tells me that when we got to Tijuana that it was so different for me, and it had been a long trip from Nayarit, Mexico, and that I was very cold, and I would grab onto her leg and I would beg her and tell her that I wanted to go back home. When I went into school, I began to meet friends and become part of this society and this world, and the teachers would tell me that I was smart, that I could go to college, that I could do whatever I want. And I felt that I could because I had always grown up with the idea that, you know, the U.S. wants smart people and the U.S. wants hardworking people. And I said to myself that I was that person. Like, I was going to go to college. I was going to get a career. I wanted to do something good for this society. So why wouldn't the U.S. want me here? And I just went on living like any other child in this country and dreaming like any other child in this country of what their future was going to look like. I sometimes try to remember that day when I was 2, but my mind cannot recollect that moment when I crossed into this country. And I never really understood what that day meant for my life until my senior year, when I started realizing all the doors that were shut to me. I couldn't get my driver's license. I was very involved in school, and I had always excelled academically. And my dream was to go to college, but I couldn't get any financial aid. During that time, too, my dad had gotten in a bad accident at his job, and as much as I wanted to help economically, because my mom was the only one working, I couldn't do that. So it hit me at that time that I was undocumented in the only country that I knew as home, and the only place that I had ever knew. And every single day I would beg my mom to let me go back to Mexico because I wanted to be in a place where I had options. It was a very hard time in my life, and I didn't know that I was going to go to college until that same summer my dad received money from a settlement from his accident. And with that money, I was able to go to UC Santa Cruz. So I got very lucky. In that same year, in 2008, I went to UC Santa Cruz, and it was there that I started becoming involved. And then I started realizing that I had accused my parents and I had blamed them because I didn't know any better. But I was finally learning that it wasn't my fault, and that it wasn't my parents' fault, and that they brought me here with the best intentions, out of love and out of struggle. And I began to appreciate so many more things about myself. And so I sit here today, and I'm still undocumented, but I feel so much stronger. And so I just tried to be positive, and I tried to look back and remind that little girl and remind myself that even though my dreams are waiting in a desk somewhere, that everything is going to be okay for me someday.